Hey folks, I'm going to be doing an unboxing of My Father's Work. This is a Kickstarter game that I got. Actually, it's been a while now, and I'm just finally getting to it. I have not played it yet. This game is driven by an app that was initially not available for Android devices upon the game's release, or iOS devices for that matter. They did have a web version of like a trial version of the app that you could play through the first scenario, but then that was it. It took them about a month, I would say, to get the app actually officially released so that you could actually play the game. So you got the game, but you could not play it for at least a month. Well, you could play the first scenario, I guess, if you had a laptop nearby where you could, nearby the table where you could make use of that, or I guess a tablet would work as well. Um, I did have one issue with my copy, the way it was packed. I believe these were packed at the factory and then shipped out, I think. But I will show you the issue I had here is my whole box was ripped. You could see it came that way. The corner was crushed slightly, but I'm not too concerned about that. They did recognize the issue with the shipping, and they are supposedly getting more boxes printed, and they're going to make us ship those out to us. Um, Here's the rule book. It is not glossy paper, which is great. Fairly decently sized texts, so it's not tiny text to read. It goes through the order of play and everything. Um, I honestly have not gone through the rule book in its entirety. I believe I read it. I read an early copy on the Kickstarter, so I'm not sure if anything has changed. But from when I read it initially, it was not a terrible rule book. Then you have the Village Chronicle here. This is a book of basically each of the scenarios. Right, you're gonna have this laid out on the board like so, and this is gonna be your town for the game. And it's a worker placement game. You're going to be sending your workers out, but there's a whole book full of how the town changes over the different scenarios and things that happen. So that's going to be out in the middle of the board. Then you have your player boards here. Now this is the Kickstarter version. I don't know if this is going to retail or not, but everything in here I'm going to describe as deluxe. I don't honestly remember if I specifically paid for a deluxe version or if this is just the Kickstarter version. But it is a dual layer board. You're going to have slots to track your progress on different things here, places to put your buildings. But there's green, blue, yellow, and purple. Or no, orange, purple, orange, or red, white, and black, I guess. So there's 4 player boards, and then this is the board that gets assembled. It's in 4 puzzle pieces, and like I said, that book of what was it called? The Village Chronicle goes in the middle of this board. Once you have the puzzle pieces out, that's going to be your main spot where you're going to be putting your workers to get your to take actions and whatnot. Another little track here that's going to go up on the board, double-sided. I'm assuming for, let's see, that says 1 and 2. That says 3. So maybe this, I'm not sure how that changes or why it changes, but it changes. And then we have all the little bits and bobs here. So I'll just go ahead and take the top off this one right now. I'll just take the whole thing out. Set it kitty corner there. These are game trays, so it's a very nice fit. The miniatures are pretty good. Everybody has the same set of 4 miniatures. They're decently detailed, and they did come with a wash, which was nice. It really brings out all the details. And I don't think there would be a need to paint them given the theme of this, which I did not even talk about. The theme of this game is the game's called My Father's Work. You are taking over for your father to try to complete his work, and your father was a mad scientist. So each scenario, you're trying to do different things. I think one scenario you're trying to cure some sort of disease, um, and you're doing this by the disease is killing everybody. So rather than cure the disease, your fix is you're just going to try to bring everybody back to life. So it's kind of that mad scientist type thing. You can see everybody has all kinds of different components here that have screen prints on them, which are pretty well done. Plastic bases for your workers that you're spending out. These are going to be your workers, so they're actually miniatures. They're not meeples. And then we have a couple reference cards here with some more tokens. We'll go ahead and close this up. And we'll move on to the next one. These are the the three scenarios that come in the game. So you have the cost of disease, that was the one I was discussing. You have the fear of the unknown, and then you have a time of war. So each game you're going to have a basic setup, and then it's going to tell you to go to one of these boxes to get to get your actual components to set up that game. Everything does have this, and you're seeing that on camera. It's all shiny, or what do they call that? Spot UV on pretty much everything. So then we have another set of components here. Let me just take this lid off. I'll try to hold this up here a little bit. So you can see you have these vials with cork, and the cork can pull out. So there is that. So you could fill these, but I don't know if you'd want liquid or something in around your game. I guess you could put some sort of material in there that would be less likely to spill. You have metal tokens. You got plastic cubes for your pieces. Metal coins, rather, not tokens. You have wood tokens for various things, to track various things. Here's your animals, your food. You got rats, owls, sharks, etc. And there's some gears here of different types. So I do appreciate that the gears are all different types and not just one sort of one style. And I do appreciate that the animals are all different animals. It's not just the same token. At the same time, that could be confusing for some people, I would imagine. The coins are actually all the same. So ones and fives, and just ones and fives. There might be, no, I think that's it, just ones and fives. Plastic cubes, and then your bottles here to indicate, I forget what these track, but they're not glass, I don't think. Maybe they are. They don't feel heavy enough to be glass. It might be plastic. But anyways, this is your component tray for your tracking of materials and such. And all of this came in this way. All of this was pre-packaged like this, just laid out like this. I think the coins might have been in baggies, but everything else I think was already just laid there like that. So then you have boards here for your different building tiles that you're going to be building. These are just standard tiles, or standard cardboard thickness, and they do get separated into certain sections. And then you have a section down here that holds all your cards for your different A's, B's, and C's. And these are the different types of things you're going to be trying to complete, like a helping hand, summon a familiar, the inhuman millipede. So it's all your different experiments. A piece of plastic in there. You got to do your A's and your B's, and then to complete a C, you might have to do an A and a B, that type of thing. So everybody's going to be competing. You're going to be sending your workers out on the board to gather resources, and then to complete projects, etc., etc. There is a little bit of I don't want to say it's a controversy, but something to be aware of. The game does mention that you're sending servants out, right? So the game does mention that your spouse is a servant to you. So some people might be a little bit, and that goes right there. Okay. Some people might be a little bit offended by that. But the good thing is it's not necessarily referring to a female, because you can Actually, any of your workers can be you. So you can choose to be, the one of the female characters, and your spouse is going to be one of your servants, right? So um, it does work that way. All right, so let's get all this set back up in here. These get set back up on top. We got the Village Chronicle, we got the instruction booklet, and then we got the box that goes back on top. Um, One benefit for there being a crack is there's no box burping. When I put that down, air just rushes out through the crack. Maybe that is going to be the next big thing in board game boxes. You're going to have air vents in the corners, so that the air can escape rather than having to be pushed up to the top and then down the sides, which is what creates that burping effect. Wouldn't that be something? But then you're going to run into the thing of stuff getting in there. But if you're storing your games somewhere where water can get into them, you probably shouldn't be storing them there. But anyways, that is an unboxing of My Father's Work. Like I said, there is an app to this game that basically sets up the story and tells you what actions need to be taken between different different eras. So you're going to play through like 3 eras essentially per game, and those eras are like 10 years apart, right? So they span many, like a decade essentially. So the game takes, like, okay, when you finish your first game, I believe your character is like, that's your life of that character. So he's dead or she is dead, and then you're playing your descendants, for the next era, so to speak. So the game kind of tells you what goes in, happens in between that time, what changes to the town that you're working in. Maybe another building pops up, or this building gets destroyed based off what actions you've taken, and then you'll change, turn to a different book or a different page in that Village Chronicle book. The app takes care of all that. It might track some other things. It might. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think it's well, it is dependent on the app, but I don't think it's like you're going to be referencing the app every turn while you're playing the game. It's just sort of in between the main eras, I believe. I'm actually really looking forward to playing this. It's gotten very good reviews. Outside of, I believe one of the major complaints is that the text, the narration is a bit much at times, where you're having to listen to like 10 minutes of dialogue from the app in order to figure out what's going on, or between the different eras. But I don't know. I haven't played it yet. It looks like it's a ton of fun. It looks like your typical worker placement game. Excited to play a mad scientist. But that is My Father's Work. Thanks for watching.